Hello, everyone. Welcome to A Fistful of Dice. My name is Matt. You're watching yet again another Mecha Hack Mission Manual one-shot. I've been running these every Friday during the Kickstarter. If you haven't heard, we're running a Kickstarter for Mission Manual. The link is down in the description if you're interested in checking it out. We're going to be trying out a bunch of stuff from Mission Manual tonight. I'm going to be running a mission called Severed Connection. This is a mission that myself and Mr. Michael Barker wrote for the book. It's one of my favorite missions in the book. It's very like Star Wars inspired, but we're going to be running this mission underwater. And the reason why we're doing that is because Mason down there, he showed this art of what he thought his mecha looked like, and it was like coming out of the water. I was like, you guys all want to do underwater, and so what we've built here is basically a fire team of amphibious assault mecha. So this is going to be a lot of fun. So in addition to running the Severed Connection mission, I'm also going to be using the underwater environment template, which is going to give us some fun stuff to kind of play with. So, but before we get started here, I'm going to allow everyone down here to introduce themselves and let us know what chassis and pilot type and modules they're running with tonight, just so everyone has a good idea of what mechanics are at play here. And then they'll get a chance to more narratively introduce their pilots a little bit later on. So we'll go ahead and start left to right. Adrian, go ahead and introduce yourself and let us know what you're playing tonight.
Hello, I'm Adrian, and I will be playing the mercenary pilot, David Almeida, he's in a Vanguard mecha, and his call sign is Crimson Glory, and I'm super excited to be playing some of these new features.
Awesome. Very cool. All right, Mason, go ahead and introduce yourself. Let us know what you're playing.
I'm Mason. I'm playing Bert. He's a mercenary pilot. He's in the hybrid chassis, and the chassis' name is Nemesis.
Awesome. Nate, go ahead and introduce yourself. Tell us what you're playing. Oh, you're muted, Nate. Classic Nate. These Nates with the muted mics, I tell you what.
Yes, I don't know. It's a curse in the name. But anyway, I am Nate. Not to be confused with 50 other Nates, but I'm playing Mama Murphy. She's a vet pilot of 23 years, piloting the same ship that she got from her late husband after he passed away in some battles. And I'm playing a Colossus chassis. Oh, it's going to be fun. I'm ready to go.
Awesome. And last but certainly not least, I'm reunited with my Scrappers friend down there. Philip, go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us what you're playing.
Hello, I'm Philip, and I am playing the pilot Les Gunther, who is an engineer, and we have the chassis auxiliary. So I'll be flitting around and healing people and helping them out.
Awesome. Very cool. All right, so let's go ahead and let's get started. We open on a planet, a blue orb hanging against the void of space. This planet is dominated by oceans, but we see also the gleam of steel visible even from high orbit. This planet is dominated by the Aeonic Primacy. Their technology runs through the world like veins, powering the planet and producing incredible amounts of technology in the factories that are prevalent here. We pull back a little bit from this beautiful yet foreboding world, and we see set against the black of space a barely perceptible silhouette, a ship, small and nimble and seemingly cloaked, sort of invisible against the backdrop of space, blotting out the stars behind it, but otherwise imperceptible to both vision and sensors. Inside the ship, there are 4 mecha pilots waiting for the briefing. The 4 of you are sitting on the bridge of this nimble stealth ship. The ship has no emblems, no sigils, no names emblazoned upon it. The ship is itself a ghost, intended to leave no trace of where it has come from or where it is going. The four of you sit on this bridge, and we're going to meet these pilots here as you await the arrival of someone. You're not sure who. All of this is very clandestine, very hush-hush. But the one thing that you know for certain is that two of you are Terran Collective. Two of you are Neo-Dominion. Enemies on any other battlefield. And yet today you sit on the same bridge, about to be briefed. We'll go ahead and we'll start in reverse order here. Rusted Admiral, you're sitting on this bridge. Your mech sits in the hangar bay of this ship. What do you look like? Describe your pilot and what you'd be doing as you prepare for this briefing.
So Rusted Admiral is a mech that has a circular cockpit and we'll call them tentacle-like arms all around it, and it uses those tentacle-like arms to move kind of like a spider on land and obviously like an octopus in the water. So I'm just going to be hanging on with four limbs from some of the rafters and similarly relaxed inside the circular cockpit that everyone can see is less with their boots, thick worn boots kicked up on the dusty dashboard and greasy pants with a shirt with holes in it. And I'll look pointedly towards my other Terran Collective companion, Colossus Zero, and say, whew, those mechs look mighty shiny, don't they? A little better than our bucket of bolts.
And the camera pans over to Colossus Zero. What do we see, and what are you doing to prepare here?
She's in her massive hulking frame of a mech with rounded spherical features on the shoulders, knees, joints. And she's leaning back and she's smoking a cigarette and she's listening to something like Sinatra, like some, I forgot the name of the song. Okay, anyway, she's listening to Sinatra, but not Sinatra for copyright reasons. And she looks over and she says, I see them, hon. They're extra shiny and I don't want any part of that glint. And she sort of like gives a little stare and she thinks back to her husband. Maybe he fought some of these. Maybe he fought one of these two in some kind of battle years back, but she's just going to keep staring and looking back and giggling a little bit. And she's a very tall, broad-shouldered woman, very commanding. She demands attention with her presence.
The camera swivels, and on the other side of this this sort of ready room, this hangar, we see two more mecha staged and ready to go. And the first one we see is Nemesis, this very striking sort of silhouette. So Nemesis, go ahead and describe what we see and what you're doing to prepare here in preparation for the briefing.
Nemesis, probably you would see, it looks like an octopi and two metal robotic legs, but it has a giant harpoon in its hand that it's been sharpening this entire time. And on its back is a pirate ship's cannon. but the head right now is open, so you can see that commanding Nemesis is actually a old man who looks like a pirate. He has an eye patch and a pirate's hat on.
Amazing. I love it. And we finally, the camera pans over and we see Crimson Glory. Go ahead and describe what we see there, Adrian.
So Crimson Glory, the pilot, he's in his mech with the cockpit kind of open. It's almost like an X-wing casing that's all opened up so you can see inside. And the nose of his mech, which is kind of at the top, almost looks like that of a shark. It's got just underneath the cockpit, there's painted on jaws, almost like a World War II bomber might have, just kind of extremely amplified features of the jawline. And his mech kind of goes down to, it's a standing mech with kind of almost a humanoid form. It's got 3 arms, 2 on the left and 1 on the right. But the 2 are joined together currently in the kind of out of the water configuration. And on its back is a dorsal fin mounted with a kind of like a Gatling gun ammunition canister kind of sinking up into where the arms are. And it's standing on 2 legs, which once in the water will join together. And instead of feet, it's got treads, which will kind of merge into more of a propeller style once it gets submerged. But the mech is in actually pristine condition. He definitely takes the time outside of missions to wax it, grease it, make sure everything's spick and span. And in his cockpit, he's actually just wiping down the interior with kind of a loose rag. And he kind of looks across, eyeing the Terran Collective suspiciously almost. And he doesn't say anything, but he's very tempted to warn them to stay away from his shiny mech with keep their bucket of bolts away. He glances over at Nemesis, who I'm sure he's done maybe work with in the past, and they're maybe not super close together, but he would definitely, based off of your mech, he'd consider you the freak. But he doesn't say anything to anybody. He just wipes down his dashboard almost and like synchronizes his watch with the system's clocks and making sure that whatever they're about to go through, like he's ready.
There is a palpable tension in the hangar between the 2 sides of the room, between the Neos and the Terrans. And just as that tension kind of reaches its zenith, the doorway at the end of the hangar opens up, and standing there is a tall, broad-shouldered figure. This man in a worn flight suit that is rolled down to his waist and tied up. He's wearing this sort of tank top over it, which shows how built he is. And as he walks into the hangar holding a data pad, he kind of sweeps his gaze across the assembled mecha, and you hear this like clicking sound, and you realize that one of his legs is mechanical. And as he's walking across the gangway, there's sort of this, and likely all of you would know who this is. This is Edison Caldera, who, in addition to being the best name I've ever rolled on the Don John random name generator, is also a infamous mecha pilot, someone who has served in the Neo Dominion and later in the Terran Collective after he left the Neo Dominion. And so Dominion pilots, you might know him, you might hate him for eventually leaving the Neo Dominion, and Terran pilots, you might distrust him for having once been one of the Neos, but the fact of the matter is that right now he's delivering your briefing. And so as he walks in and sweeps his gaze over the assembled mecha, he says, assume you all know me. I'm Edison Caldera, and I'm Joint Chief of this operation. I'll be overseeing the mission from aboard this ship. I have a unique perspective to be able to do this, as I have served in both the Neo Dominion and the Terran Collective. You might be wondering how it is that we've assembled pilots from both factions. Well, welcome to Operation Fairweather. A ceasefire. Not a true armistice. But you've all heard the adage, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. Well, the Aeonic Primacy threatens all of Lodestar Alpha, Neo, and Terran alike. So we are coming together today to strike a blow against them. Whatever beef you have with the other side of this hangar, I want you to squash it right now. You're a fire team, the 4 of you. For the purposes of this mission, you are neither Neo nor Terran. You are part of Operation Fairweather. And the mission you are about to embark upon is of the utmost importance and highly classified. This will not go on your records. And if you live to tell the tale, well, you won't tell the tale. What we intend to do today is strike a blow against the Aeonic Primacy's greatest asset, the lattice. This network allows the Aeons to function like a hive mind, instantly transferring data across great distances. It's what allows the Aeons to instantly alert allies of danger, coordinate their attacks, and react with the speed that they do against us. This lattice network relies on strategically placed nodes called hubs to maintain its range, link the minds of the Aeons nearby, and receive and transmit data almost instantly. There's a hub on that planet down below, underwater. And now, you might realize why it is that the 4 of you are here, because when it comes to underwater operations, you are the best of the best. The 4 finest pilots to ever carry out amphibious assault and aquatic operations in either faction. That's why you're here today. We're going to be using experimental fulcrum drives called Twitch drives to get down to that planet. We're going to be dropping you into the water past the planetary defenses. The planet is crawling with Aeons. There's no way we can do a traditional drop. So, you're going to be guinea pigs today as well and test out some new tech. Once you're down on the planet, you'll need to proceed immediately to the hub, disable or destroy it. And if you want to ride off the planet, you'll also need to extract the shield codes so that we can get past and pick you up. But I don't think I need to make it any clearer already that the main objective is to destroy the hub. If you have to choose between leaving the planet or destroying the hub, I hope you know which choice to make. Now, there's one other unknown in this mission. There's an Aeon pilot down there known as the Silver Meteor. They have confounded us at every turn. Their kill count is higher than any other Aeon pilot that we know of. If you run across the Silver Meteor, try to live long enough to carry out the mission. That's the best advice I can give you. Now, we're going to drop here soon, but we've got time for questions. What do y'all need to know?
I don't have any questions, but I need to address the other 2, even you, sir, in the room. I know we're supposed to be some kind of enemy. We've been for years. I've fought probably a few of you on the battlefield, just like my husband. But I gotta say, right now, I'm relying on you. You guys are part of me and mine. And I will back you up as far as I can. And I expect the same in return, if that's okay. And she'll look over at Rusted Admiral and give him a little wink, sort of, not like a suspicious wink, but a just for this time, go along with it kind of thing.
As you say that, I'll pull out 2 fish and hand them to the 2 who aren't originally from the same group as I am.
Well,
Fish. I love that. Just I will take this. I will cherish. I'll keep it in my my cab. Nice.
So Crimson Glory is going to slowly start lowering his cockpit, the blast shield essentially, and he'll answer that you don't have to worry anything on my part. I might work for the Neo Dominion right now, but I'm a mercenary. You're my team today. Just don't get in the way of anything. We'll cover each other. I'll do my best. You do your best. We get out in one piece. Doesn't sound like the type of mission we can afford grudges.
That's right. Y'all speak the truth.
Smoke
This
to that.
mission is more important than any allegiance you might carry.
I guess I'll play along, and I spit inside my mech. But I'm definitely interested to hear more about these new toys you promised us.
The Twitch drives. Yeah. Until recently, only vessels that have been capable of faster than light travel are starships. But mecha reactors are pretty powerful. They can manage a high energy output, thus Twitch drives. They can't do long range travel like our ships can, but in orbit where we are, they can get you down to the planet's surface just fine. Now, I will say, you're going to have to time these jumps real carefully. And if you get it wrong, well, you might end up above the planet's surface in direct line of fire of anti-aircraft guns, or you might end up in the planet's core. But luckily, you all are experienced pilots, and I trust you have enough control over your mecha systems to do what needs to be done to make it work.
Murphy will look around at her so-called mech. It's a glorified, beautiful, giant rust bucket, and thinking about the Twitch drives and the speed is just like when you hold your car and it just you think it's gonna fall apart when you have this old jalopy or whatever. So yeah, but she's confident.
All right, then. If y'all are ready, we'll get you dropped. He tucks the data pad into his flight suit, crosses his arms, and says, on a personal note, I hope y'all make it out alive. Good luck. He leaves the hangar as the room begins to depressurize. All of you seal up your mecha, pressurizing the cabin. If you have helmets and stuff, you're putting on your helmets, getting ready. There's a hum from all of the reactors that are powering up, and there's a whirring that emanates from the walls of the hangar as the floor beneath you begins to open up. And you see beneath the ship the sprawling blue of this ocean world. You hear over the comms, all right, we're going to drop you, and as soon as you hit Atmo, you activate those Twitch drives. Now be real careful. I'm broadcasting coordinates that you need to try and hit. I don't think I need to tell you. This is going to be like trying to hit a needle in a haystack, but I trust you can do it. The doors of the hangar open all the way. There's a slight click, and then the arms that are holding your mecha in place let go, and you all begin dropping out of the ship, hurtling toward the planet. You start to feel the intense G-forces building as you get caught in the planet's gravity, and just as the heat begins to build as you begin to enter the atmosphere, I would like everyone to please roll system. So roll a d20. You're trying to roll under your system score. And if you want to, you can do thumbs up or thumbs down depending on how it goes for you. Okay. Oh, okay. All right. So, Adrian, what I need you to do is go ahead and roll a d6 and tell me what you get.
No. That's a 1.
Okay. So, you're all plummeting toward this planet, and the coordinates come in for the Twitch drive jump. You all activate these Twitch drives that have been installed, and there's a this blue light that overtakes your vision as the Twitch drive activates, and you were teleported instantly into the oceans below. There's this very almost disconcerting quiet that takes over the mech. It was, rattling around as you were entering the atmosphere, but all of a sudden you're under the ocean and there's this sort of, and you just immediately feel the pressure of the water pushing in around you outside of the mech, and there's that familiar sort of creak on the hull that you all likely know so well. Now, Crimson Glory, you didn't quite hit that coordinate, and as you drop into the ocean, you are actually distant away from your comrades. So you have arrived safely, but not at the right place. And so Nemesis, Colossus Zero, and Rusted Admiral, you have all jumped in sort of at this this large crevasse that is winding its way through the bottom of the seafloor, and you see coral and like these mountains sort of rising in the distance, hazy in the darkness of the ocean, and you can see the glint of lights in the distance from this installation that you're supposed to be heading toward. But Crimson Glory, you're sort of out in the open ocean, and as you get your bearings and get your sensors online, you see just how far away from your allies that you are. Not too far to be able to communicate, but definitely far enough away for it to be inconvenient.
Okay.
You said he's distant, right? Can I use a move action and then use the grappling hook to grab him and bring him in?
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, I think he's gonna do a quick systems test to make sure everything's functioning correctly, and the Twitch drive didn't break anything on it, because there's one thing with his mech is it's very temperamental to him, and so the new software, it's like he doesn't know exactly what happened, and he's checking everything, and then he's gonna tap the comms and be like, "I meant to do that. Hold on, I'll be right over." And then he's gonna try to engage the thrusters.
I just tested power and I got a success. But I
Okay.
Still. So you'll notice a tentacle just reaches out from the center of Nemesis and grabs him and pulls him into me. Get over here.
The long
This whole time he's
range
still
scanners,
booting stuff
man.
on.
Yeah.
You would hear Murphy over the comm saying, "Is this how they run things in the Neo Dominion? Is that what you guys do here?"
No, normally he lands closer than I do.
Woohoo! Well, I just can't believe we made it. Look at this. Can you believe that? I start nerding out on this awesome new tech that we were able to use. Think of all the ways we could start to use this. Oh man, how are we gonna get Terran Collective some of this tech? Jeez.
We won't, hon. It's not gonna happen. And
I'm already uploading the files right now. We're gonna.
She'll have a sigh of relief because this is where she's home. She's comfortable under the waves, with that something cozy about that pressure, sort of lightly crushing your cabin. Something very specific about it it just can't be matched by anything
It's like
else.
a weighted blanket.
It is. It's a weighted blanket that's slightly heated. It's nice.
Now that you're all in the same place, you can see again this crevasse in front of you, and as you're standing there, there's this gout of bubbles that just comes up from the crevasse, and you all sort of realize this intense like energy output, that this is like being used as an exhaust vent for the installation in the distance, and all of this energy just starts venting out, and you can see that it's instantly boiling the water right in front of it, and so you're going to have to be pretty careful getting through this. The installation, the hub itself, is distant from you currently. How do you guys want to proceed? Do you want to head directly there? Do you want to try and sneak up to it? How do we want to proceed?
Well, since we were instructed that this would be the safest version of approaching, I would say Murphy and Colossus Zero, they're moving forward, no questions asked, just going straight there, not trying to be any kind of sneakiness about it. There's only so sneaky you can be in these giant mechs, so.
Yes, I think I'm just gonna try to follow almost more behind, but on like the wing, taking up either the left or right flank, and just keeping an eye out for like sentries, because if we get seen, all of the Aeons are gonna find us probably. Mm-hmm. So very cautiously wanting to take out anything that might come up.
Now hold on, Colossus, real quick. You remember they were talking about that Aeon pilot who
the silver, what was it?
Yeah,
I forgot the name, but the silver meteor.
Silver meteor, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. And you would hear the.
I do not want to tango with them. Perhaps we should look into this exhaust vent a little further and see if maybe this is a good point of access.
All right, you know me, I just get a little gung-ho and I just got to follow suit, and this is just not the way we do it. I'm just so used to going in, so got to cool my jets. And then she'll just like simmer down a little bit and just sort of look to the Neo-Dominionites or Neo-Dominion boys for a little bit of another alternative.
Yeah, if you Terrans pause for a moment and think, we really should try to prioritize getting the shield codes before we start tangling with any of these guys. If we hit up that, what was his name? Silver Meteor, if we see him, I'll take care of him. Nemesis and I got that. We've fought stuff before. We can take it out. That'll be one for the books. But we got to get the shield generator offline before we can exfiltrate.
Well, I half agree with you there. We should get the shields down. But I think if we see the Silver Meteor, we all better try to take him out. Not just let you fall to your crimson glory.
I signed up for teamwork and I'm not going any other way.
Right.
Lead the way. And she'll sit back and take, another drag from the cigarette and just sort of watch and learn this new approach.
So, underwater, a few things of note as we're using the underwater environment template today. While underwater, any system tests made to scan, search, or detect have disadvantage beyond far distant. There's also, you cannot take more than one move action in a turn, just because of the intense pressure on the outside of the mech and the fact that you have to push through water in order to move. And a benefit, your reactors are cooler than normal. Or you can choose to re-roll a reactor die if you roll a 1. So if you roll a 1, you can choose to re-roll it, which should be helpful. So, as we move toward the installation, let's get either mobility or system tests from all of you, whichever is higher for you, to try and avoid the venting exhaust from this installation, this sort of instantly boiling water.
But is it if I roll the 16 on 16, is that pass or is that fail?
That is a fail. Got to be under. Adrian, you're not. I'm getting to try out everything because you're failing the test. That's great.
He's double dipping and fails. I love it.
Yeah. So
one for the books.
Yeah. So
just get him out of the way.
You're going to be taking 1d6 damage, Crimson Glory, and also rolling your reactor die. I'd like you to describe what happens. Do you get caught in one of these exhaust vents? What happens that causes this damage as you're approaching the installation?
Yeah, so he's being a little too careful. He's going a little too slow. And when one of the vents just kind of erupts before him, he like pushes forwards on the throttle, but there's like a delay because he's got a 9 for systems. His mech is not super like responsive as much as he's wanting it to be. And so he gets caught full on like in the middle of this vent, and he takes 5 points of damage, which I will use my armor for that actually, because I don't want to get that damaged. And then reactor die is a 6, so that's a pass.
Great.
Once the vent stops, his thrusters kick in and he like launches forwards. His propellers, where his feet used to be, have turned into more propellers now, and they kind of kick him forwards, but it's like a little late. If the comwa was not muted, you'd hear like swearing and cursing, but he left himself on mute for that.
Well, we got majority success on all the tests so far. So that means you all get to take one free action before initiative is even rolled as you approach the installation here, and that includes you, Adrian, even though you rolled those two failures. So what you see as you approach the installation, you sort of you cross over this crevasse, and as you get closer to the installation, the coral and the rock of the seabed is replaced with metal, with piping, with conduits, and you can see energy just coursing through these conduits. There's just an intense amount of power that is being pumped into and from this planet's core. You all see these very intense energy readings emanating from these structures, and a couple of times you're forced to kind of huddle up and take cover as these submersible craft sort of come by overhead on these little patrols. But you do make it to the installation, and you can see it in front of you. It's this almost octagonal sort of structure rising up out of the seafloor. And you can see there's this shimmering field around it, this incredibly powerful energy shield that likely cannot be penetrated by your weapons. You imagine you'll have to try and cut through it or hack it if you can, but it's drawing power directly from the planet's core, and so it's virtually impenetrable. You can see that there's a large radar dish at the top of this installation, likely what receives and transmits the data through the lattice network to all of the aeons nearby. And you can also see, in addition to turrets that are encircling the installation, that there is a large submarine just like hovering near the installation. This just Leviathan vessel is sort of almost like orbiting the installation on this kind of patrol, likely pinging sonar to try and detect any intruders. But the four of you are, this is what you do. This is amphibious assault, aquatic operations. This is your bread and butter. And as you have done well on your rolls thus far, you all will get a free action before we roll initiative here. So how would you like to approach? What do you want to do? What is the one action you want to carry out before the combat kicks in here? We can go in any order.
There she is.
Oh. Rusted Admiral is going to laugh at the quandary that Crimson Glory has already found themselves in. and I'll kind of flip over to you and well, come here and hold still there, Crimson Glory. Let's get you patched up a bit before we go into this. You know, it's all right. It's a little rusty, but it's not gonna spread. And you'll see like me detaching part of one of my wildly articulating arms and just like break it apart and start spot welding some plates onto you as I use a use action to reduce my armor point by 1 and restore 2 hit points to you.
Ooh. The com's gonna kind of flicker and buzz, and you just hear kind of a very deadpan voice just saying, "Rusted Admiral, this is one of the most embarrassing moments of my life, but thank you.
You look great.
I look a lot better when I get back to a real mechanic, but thank you."
It's what we call submerged hospitality.
I would turn to everyone else and say, do you guys want me to grab the submarine or just laser beam it?
I was gonna say, Murphy would sort of like look around, and there were two turrets on the sides.
There's like 4, 5, 6 turrets. They're just
He's just up in it. He's just 74.
80,000 turrets. No, there's quite a few turrets on the outside. I'm running them as a D6 swarm die. So.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. Yep.
And these are on the stub?
They're on
installation?
the installation itself. Now you're not sure if they can fire through the shield, but you imagine they probably can.
Okay. Oh man.
Have you guys gone through a shield like that before?
Honey, I've never seen one like that. That is some power, and I don't know what to expect. So I'm looking at y'all.
I'm more concerned with the giant submarine that's patrolling. It's going to see us soon. We need to figure out a way to get rid of that first.
How big is the sub? Like scale-wise, like compared to our mechs, is it like 3 times as big, or?
Yeah, it's definitely large enough to probably carry 3 or 4 mecha inside of it. It's a fairly large vessel. Definitely probably 3 or 4 times the size of even Nemesis or Colossus Zero.
Do you guys think that can get through the shield? And
yes.
one of his arms just points up at it.
And as I say yes, you'd notice that the tentacle that grabbed you earlier is starting to spin, getting ready to grab it if you don't tell me not to.
Yeah. Let's use that as and hitch a ride. Go through the shield on the ship.
I'm going to go ahead and use my one action before we head in there. I'm going to actually try to enter into Veriform mode, if that's okay.
Yep.
So essentially the arms on Colossus Zero fold inward and rotate. These spherical joints rotate out, and on the backside, they're all equipped with turbines. The arms fold in closer. The gun that Zero was holding is sort of like linked into the side, essentially turning into some kind of battleship underwater. And it's just sort of like, as she's doing this, she's holding on for dear life, because it's always been an iffy thing to make this transformation successful, especially already submerged this deep. So she's like praying at the same time and holding on. But yeah, that's what I'm gonna do.
Killer. Okay. And then I think Nemesis is going to be using its action to grab that sub. Crimson Glory, do you want to take an action before that happens?
I'm going to flip open a safety cover on one of my dashboard buttons and just kind of slam my fist down on a blue button and activate my Buster Overclock. And then my reactor starts to rev and hum and kind of glow a little bit. And with all 3 of my arms, I'm going to grab onto my my built-fed harpoon gun, Gatling gun, essentially,
Awesome.
and just start charging it. waiting for the sub to get pulled in closer. I'll roll my die right now.
So I'll grab the sub with my grappling hook.
Let's do it.
That's a 1 on the D20.
That is a critical success. So I can't remember the grappler arm deals any damage, but you'll get to deal double damage.
A D4.
Okay, cool. So you'll get to deal double damage, and go ahead and describe what it looks like as you yank this massive submarine towards you.
Well, the same tentacle that grabbed Crimson Glory so nicely lashes out with what looks like a vengeance, and it grabs on like you would grab onto a smaller boat, and it just starts to crush it as it's pulling in. 4 and that's 7 damage.
Killer. There are these.
Oh no, I rolled a 1.
Oh, you can re-roll it.
I'm not re-rolling it.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
I want to drop my reactor.
Yeah, you're like, come on.
I forgot. He's playing a hybrid. That's right.
Yep. We haven't had a hybrid go berserk on stream yet, so let's see if we can push it.
I was going to say, literally, keep cool, baby, keep cool. Yeah. And I'm just like, wait, never mind.
Good job, freak.
So now we have a giant sub next to us, guys.
Yeah.
Can I see the cockpit? Or
yeah, you can see the bridge. It's kind of like almost kind of like elevated off of the main body of the sub. It's sort of this like blister on the top of it. So let's go ahead and roll initiative now that combat has officially started. So initiative is either mobility or system, whichever is higher. If you succeed, you get to go before the enemies. If you fail, you get to go after. So just let me know, thumbs up, thumbs down, if you get to go.
And it's at disadvantage on system, right?
For scanning.
What was it?
That's only for scanning. Just because
that's right, scanning.
Yeah,
gotcha.
Yep.
Cool.
So you're good. Okay, good. All right, so it looks like everyone's going before the enemies except for Philip, and that, you know what? It's okay, Philip. You're just in a group all your own. You get to go after the initiative.
I'm just taking in the scene. It's all
yeah,
right.
Exactly. You're like
you actually get to go top of the next round.
Yeah, just think of it like you're going first next time. Exactly. Yeah. It's like you skip a turn. It's great. So we'll go ahead and if y'all are okay with it, we'll just kind of go left to right here in initiative order. So Crimson Glory, if you want to take your turn first. So this sub has been yanked through the water, and there's this just this immense rush of water as it's yanked towards you. This immense shape moving through the sea with as much speed and force as Nemesis can muster. And as the sub is pulled towards you, there's an immediate, because it's this instant sort of hive mind thing where all of the turrets on the installation begin swiveling toward the sub, and there are these lights and klaxons that start flashing. It's your turn.
So the propellers at the bottom of his mech spin faster and kind of launch him up so he's eye level with the cockpit, and his charged up Gatling gun starts just to go and shoot all of these harpoons kind of glowing into the cockpit. I'm trying to just take out all the pilots if I can.
Killer. Yeah. Go ahead.
So that'll be power?
Yep, that would be power.
I get advantage, but I got 14, so it's a success. So 9 on the dice. And then Buster Overclock gives me an extra damage die, so I roll 2d8.
Killer.
That's a 9 damage.
Okay.
Then I already rolled my reactor die from the Buster Overclock, so I don't think there's anything I have to roll this turn.
I think you're good. So these harpoons just start puncturing the hull of the sub, and you see these little explosions popping and these compressions happening in the hull as you can tell that chambers inside the sub are becoming flooded and just instantly compressing under the pressure of the water around it. You can see hangar bays on either side of the sub begin to start sliding open, light emitting from outside of them. Nemesis, you are up.
Okay, I'm gonna aim at the hangar bay with my first action, which is going to be my maw beam. So I'm going to breathe essentially a giant beam of lightning hangar door that's open. And I have to roll a reactor die and a d12. First
man.
test power.
A reactor died. Darn.
Yep. Test power. I succeed.
Okay.
And it does 12 damage.
Killer.
And a reactor die. Oh, that's a 3.
Bummer.
Oh wait, I have a second action, don't I?
You do?
Or is it just one?
Yep, 2
Okay,
actions.
I'm gonna do the same thing.
May as well, right? So that'll be two reactor rolls. Not that you care, but
Nope. Okay, another success on power. 11 damage. And a 1 on the reactor die.
Ooh, another downgrade. What does that put you at?
That would cause me to overheat.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, already. Okay, we might be
Yeah,
having
berserk.
a berserk mecha here. So let's go ahead and roll on the berserk mecha table.
Can I just say that's one of the most metal things I've ever heard of Matt Click creating is just the hybrid going berserk, and it just makes you want to just do the thing you're not supposed to want to do.
Yeah.
Shrink your reactor die. Just it makes you want to do it.
Exactly.
I rolled a
So
7,
metal.
so I attack the nearest target. And seeing as everything's near me, I'm going to just hit the thing that's still grappled. Well, still
Yeah.
right next to
Why don't we can
Sword.
say that you can
Or
just attack the submarine since you're already have your sort of sights on it.
I was gonna say Zero just like gently shoves you away, like just.
So I'm stabbing it with a harpoon.
Okay.
That's a 1 on the power die.
Damn.
And now I need my d12 again. 1. 13 damage with my harpoon.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. It's heavy weapons, so it's 15 damage.
Got it.
Bonus.
Okay.
And that's my turn.
All right. The sub is actually starting to kind of drift toward the seafloor, bubbles sort of coming up from it. And you can actually hear from inside the sub like, "Whoo, whoo," as it's kind of like sinking toward the seafloor, having sustained all of this damage. What does Nemesis look like when it goes berserk, by the way? What do we see?
Because this was the attack the nearest thing, it just grabs its harpoon and just stabs straight at whatever's next to it. But its
Awesome.
harpoon isn't actually held by its arms. It's just grabbed by a tentacle.
Cool.
when
Awesome.
it's berserk.
All right. Colossus Zero, you are up. So the sub is kind of drifting toward the seafloor. You see these hangar doors are opening. One of the hangar doors is just completely obliterated, but the other one is still opening, preparing to spill something out. You're not sure.
So Colossus Zero sees all this happening, and I don't think Murphy has ever seen a hybrid before, and she's kind of like dumbfounded by like, what the hell is happening? Okay, never mind. And then she goes and she looks up and she sees the other turrets that are all up there. Are they like they're all aiming at us. How far are those from us?
Those are far from you.
Far from me. Okay. So since I entered, what's it called? Veriform mode, I can go 2 bands worth of range in one move. So I'm going to go ahead and hit my turbines and fly, sort of like do a Tokyo drift sort of at them, like, and do a slide action. And I'm going to attempt to shoot a few of them if I can.
Cool. Yep, go for it.
Okay. So that I'm going to test power. 13, 18. Yep. Success on that. And then I roll some sweet damages. 3 damage. As I'm just sliding and these this double-barreled torpedo gun just launches these torpedoes, and then the torpedoes spiraling. Massive explosion, and then like suction of all the air just back in as the pressure crushes it.
Awesome. Okay, bad guys get to go before Rusted Admiral here. The hangar bay opens up on the sub as it's about to crash into the seafloor, and dozens of these little drones just start spilling out of the hangar into the water. They're essentially propellers with guns on them. They're like these massive propellers that churn themselves through the water, but you can see weapons on either side of this sort of circular frame as they come buzzing out of this sub. And I need everyone except for Colossus Zero to make a mobility test, please. And let me know what you get. Actually, I can just tell you. Wow! I just rolled max damage on both dice. Okay, so if you fail, you're taking 10 damage. If you succeeded, you're taking no damage.
Well, that was close.
So all of these drones just kind of start circling around you, swarming around you, if you will, and as they fire these ray emitters that fire these energy beams that just like instantly boil the water around them. So it looks like they're shooting like these beams of like boiling hot liquid at you almost, as they kind of like plink off of your armor, and they continue to swarm. Colossus Zero, the point defense turrets sort of hone in on you as you move toward the installation. So I'm going to need from you let's see here. What do they get? Yeah, we'll go ahead and do that. So go ahead and give me a mobility test if you would, please. Let me know if you succeed or not. I'll go ahead and roll the damage just in case. Succeed? Okay, cool.
Yeah,
so
I
you're
got
good. 10. All of the point defense turrets, these little missile pods pop out of the top, and they fire off these torpedoes out of the top of them, and the torpedoes come spiraling through the water at you, but you either manage to dodge them aside or knock them aside as they come towards you, and they
Let's be real, I'm Tokyo drifting, you know.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. You're doing the the Armored Core, like you're just like sliding around, and these torpedoes just go off. Just these huge sort of depth charge type explosions as they're going off. Okay. It's Rusted Admiral's turn.
So seeing this swarm come out of the submarine hangar and just narrowly miss destroying me, I am going to quickly launch my micro missiles, which is one of my modules that I have. So that is an attack, and I test system as an engineer, which is awesome for me. So
yeah, there's
definitely
system weapons.
Yeah, I was like, oh, I'm gonna pick those up. So that is definitely a success for me. So it says deal 1d4 to each enemy close and near, and then roll my reactor.
Yes. Yep. So, because this is a swarm, you can go ahead and roll, because it's, or no, that's the funnel drones. Go ahead and roll 3d4 against the swarm.
3d4. Okay. Okay, here we go. That is... Ooh, 9.
Beauty. Okay. The swarm is now downgraded to a D4 from a D6. So what does it look like as these missiles just and start blowing up these drones?
Yeah, so I've got like lots of things dangling off of me, and the center sphere just starts spinning, and a couple of tips from some of these appendages just split off and puncture these drones.
Killer. And they actually, like, one goes down and it like and hits another one, and they like blow up together like a bunch of TIE fighters. Okay, very cool. That was one action. Anything else you want to do?
Yeah, and as a move action, I want to try and find cover wherever is near, whether it's like this coral outcropping or if it's behind some power cable, something. Preferably not behind a power cable. That might end up.
Yeah. No, killer. Awesome. Good idea. Yeah, you're able to. There's kind of this big mound of coral, almost like a hill of coral, and you just kind of like sidestep and get behind it and put your back to it, and you're able to get cover. Awesome. Good job. Okay. That puts us back at the top of the initiative with Crimson Glory. The sub hits the seafloor. It's not quite out of the fight yet. You imagine it won't be chasing after you necessarily, but it's definitely still a presence in the combat. What do you want to do in your turn?
So I have the belt fed feature, so I can use an attack to just deal the damage again, I believe. So so that's basically what he's doing. He's still kind of floating, I guess, higher up than it since the sub is sinking, but he's just still angling his cannon down into the cockpit and just going thunk, 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 thunk. Do I roll another attack or just straight damage?
I'm actually going to check because I can't remember. Let's look really quick.
Page 8 at the very bottom, I think.
Belt fed. Okay, so when you hit a target with this weapon, you can use an attack action on subsequent turns to deal damage to the target again. Okay, cool. Yeah, so you can just basically deal damage again without having to roll power.
Okay.
But when you roll one on one of the damage dice, you basically like spin empty and have to reload. Yeah.
No, this probably won't work, but because he used Buster Overclock first before this attack, do I still get the second dice or no?
See, now then I would say no because you have to charge it up to benefit from that.
Yeah, that's fair. Well, that's 4 damage, and then what I would like to do is he kind of looks around at all of these little drones kind of swimming around, and I see Rusted Admiral shoot off a bunch of his micro missiles, and then I'm going to flip another kind of cover over one of the buttons on my desk panel. This one's green, and I'm just going to slam a fist down on that one, and I'm going to try to activate my micro missiles, which is probably a Terran Collective mod that I saw once in Wanted, even though it doesn't really fit for my mech. But I'm going to try to do the same thing.
You're like, ooh, those are cool.
So I will roll
I'll be scratching my head thinking, man, those look awfully familiar.
I got a 6 on my 9, so it's a success.
Okay, great.
And then my reactor dies 2, so my reactor downgrades by 1.
Yes, correct.
To 6. But I still rolled the damage, and this is a 1d4 now because of the size of the swarm.
So you'll still be rolling 3d4 against it.
That's 4, 8, 1, so that's 9 also.
9 total. You
and
mop up the rest of these drones. So go ahead and describe what that looks like.
Yeah, so for him, because he doesn't have like an octopus mech or anything, it's much more shark-like, and so he's got the paint underneath the jawline right under the cockpit, and then just behind that is almost what looks like gills, but they're actually vents, and a whole bunch of little like darts shoot out from those, and they're like heat-seeking missiles that just track everything down. And then Crimson Glory feels like, and for a second everything flickers and he starts to sink, and he powers up again. He's like, dang it. And his reactor shrinks by 1. So
cool. All right, well, good job mopping up the cyclone drones. So they all just kind of, you see all the ones that remain after the micro missiles from Rusted Admiral. There's another volley of micro missiles from Crimson Glory, and they just take out the rest of these cyclone drones. All right, Nemesis, you're up.
You said the sub was still standing, or did it not after the belt fed?
Yeah, so it's still there, just barely hanging on.
Okay. First, I'm gonna maw beam it because that forces a roll on the reactor.
You're just like overheat. Okay,
that's a success. That's roll damage. That's 11 damage to that. Oh no, I rolled a 2 on my reactor die.
You sound so sad.
Right.
Better luck next time.
So I go berserk again.
Yes.
I rolled a 5, which is the one I really wanted.
Which one is that?
monster roar. Basically, everything within range of me, which is far, because I have long range sensors, has to make a presence check. Everything does, though, unfortunately. So that means all my allies
That's
too.
allies too. Yep.
Presence.
Am I in range of that? Is that?
Everyone is. It has far range.
Jeebus.
Ooh, I failed. 13 out of 12.
If you fail, you take 4 damage.
Yeah, I failed.
Ouch.
4 damage for everything in range.
So there's like this shockwave that emits out of Nemesis, going through the water, and all of your mecha get hit by this wave. All right, so we haven't had a hybrid go berserk yet, and now an hour in, and we've had it go berserk twice. So I'm very happy with the way things are proceeding. I know. It might happen a third time. Who knows? Yeah, go for it.
The turrets you said were far range, right?
Correct.
Perfect. I'm gonna pull off my cannon and launch a cannonball at one of them.
Great.
Because that has artillery. So that's a success, so I rolled twice. 12 damage so far, plus, so 24 damage total.
24. That downgrades the turrets to a D4. What does that look like as you lob a cannonball and take out a bunch of turrets?
The cannonball actually goes above where the turrets are and just explodes into a flak barrage wherever they are.
Yeah.
And then I have to roll reactor die again because it's another attack.
Yeah.
Oh no, I rolled a 1.
All right. Go berserk again. What do we got?
This is intense.
I burned myself. So I take 1 damage, which gets absorbed by my armor.
All right.
You would hear over the comms, Murphy says, simmer down, you silly biscuit.
As you say that, you just hear a loud roar that does not sound like any language you've ever heard.
These
right.
guys are nuts.
When the shockwave erupts, I like to imagine that was when Crimson Glory's power flickered from his reactor dying for a second,
yeah.
and he just get the hits, like shifts over, and when his power gets on, he's just gonna say, "Hey, everyone, just stay away from the freak for a minute. He's having a moment."
Colossus Zero, you're up.
And as you say that, she's like, "Oh, sweet Jesus, I'm trying." And she like sort of holds on to the walls once more. She says, "Come on, Puddin', get through this." And she's gonna she's gonna basically go into the battle mode feature.
Mm-hmm.
You see these plates covered in patina and rust, just sort of covering otherwise exposed areas on her mech. And this is going to give me, was it plus 1d4 to reduce damage by 1d4 taken, like damage taken. And then also it adds 1d4 damage to all my damage rolls.
Correct.
Which is really good. And since it has
awesome.
disadvantage of mobility, it cancels out since I'm in Veriform frame.
Yep.
So yeah, I'm ready to do that. So she sort of like hits a few levers, hits a few switches, and all this metal encasing, this old, weathered, ancient technology just starts to cover the mech completely. All right.
Awesome.
And then she's going to take her eyes and sort of focus back on the turrets that were up on the shelf or around, attached to the installment, or I think they called it that. And she's going to go ahead and take a few more swings. This time, did I get within close of them now? I think I went right up on them, didn't I?
Yeah, you're up there.
Something like that? Okay. So she takes out this almost the Maui hook type of sword, where it's just, this giant curved hooked blade covered in barnacles on one side, but very neatly sharpened on the damaging section. And she's just gonna go slinging, slashing through all these turrets if I can. Oh, that is definitely 2, so that's definitely gonna hit. And then I gotta roll some damages and slice them up with a hook. That would be, since it's a heavy as well, it's going to be 6 damage total.
6 damage total. Okay. The last of the turrets goes down. Go ahead and describe what it looks like.
Almost with this face of glee, she's just like, man, I missed this. I missed it so much. And she just, as if she's like living through it. She's like this poetic motion with her body as she's pulling levers, and this giant hook blade just little burst of explosion as she's slicing through, a whole cluster of them on the shelf.
Awesome. Okay. All right. The only bad guy remaining is this near wreckage of this submarine. It is going to fire off some slipstream torpedoes at Nemesis and Crimson Glory. So I need both of you to make a system test, please. Let me know if you succeed or fail. I'm sorry, Adrian.
I actually rolled a 6 again.
Hey!
Now his systems are working.
Okay, and Nemesis failed, so let me go ahead and roll that damage. That is going to be 5 damage from these torpedoes that fire off from the sub.
So if I take no damage, can Crimson just shift his aim, and because he's using the belt fed, he just takes out the torpedo with it?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. That's dope. Yeah, these torpedoes are just kind of coming towards you, and you just sort of destroy them as they're hurtling towards you.
It's a really good feeling if you ever play in a game and you actually shoot down a torpedo.
Yeah,
like,
it always feels really good to be able to do that.
One of my tentacles just fell off because that was my armor.
Oh, okay. My tentacles. My tentacles are falling off, you guys. Okay, Rusted Admiral. So you have this. You're back to this coral. You see the submarine is sitting there. It's essentially cracked in half as it's hit the seafloor and sustained all of this damage. And there's this energy shield surrounding the installation. And you're being the engineer, you're getting sort of like energy readings from this thing, and you're starting to hone in on the frequency of this energy shield. You can, if you want to, use a use action to roll system and try to hack into the shield to disable it. You can also do so with disadvantage if you want to also try and download the shield codes to be able to get out of here.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that at disadvantage. I'm in a nice quiet spot, and
yeah,
it's gonna be great.
While I can focus, and it's just
yeah, it cuts to Rusted Admiral's cockpit, and he's in there like ba ba da 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 da.
It's gonna do the lobby music. You got it.
Yeah.
And you said that was a system test?
System, yeah.
Awesome. All right, I got it.
Okay, so you target these energy fields, and this maybe isn't the first time you've tried to hack into Aeon Tech, but it's certainly the most critical. And as you hack into these systems, these garbled sort of like Matrix style runes are feeding through your monitors, and you have to kind of hack through multiple firewalls. And as you do so, the shields flicker, and Colossus Zero, you being the closest, you see the shield just go, and there's kind of this gout of bubbles as the shield goes down, and all the water rushes in to fill the space of the shield, and the installation is sitting there open. However, the blast doors leading inside the installation immediately begin to close as the shield goes down. Philip, you've still got another action on your turn, though. Anything else you'd like to do here? Oh, you're muted.
Muted. Thank
Your
you.
name Nate?
Yeah, so I think I'm gonna push it and do another use action so that I can get in my Veriform frame.
Okay, cool.
So I'll go ahead and roll my reactor die. 7.
Nice.
And yeah, I pin back my appendages and cuttlefish mode engaged.
Nice.
Awesome. Okay, cool. So, as the combat around the installation ends and the blast doors begin to close, we're going to take a quick bio break, and then we're going to come back and finish out the session. So please do stick around. Thanks, everyone, for watching tonight. We're going to be back in just a couple minutes, so stick around. always have to make some sort of sound effect when I hit the thing. It doesn't work unless you do it. So, hey everybody, we're back. Thanks for sticking around. We're gonna go ahead and wrap up our session here. So the blast doors are closing on this installation. I need everybody to give me a mobility check to try to get inside of this thing on time.
The skin of my teeth.
All right, everybody made it. So there's this just mad dash to get inside the installation, and the blast doors, I imagine like there's like a tentacle trailing as the blast doors sort of close behind you. So you see this this tunnel leading into the hub, and it's very Death Star 2 Return of the Jedi. It's these tunnels that are created by like piping and conduits and stuff leading into the center of the hub. And as you zoom through these blast doors and they close, your momentum carries you through the tunnel, and you continue kind of winding your way through them. And soon enough, the tunnel opens up, and you see this this giant sort of spherical chamber, in the center of which is the core of the hub, and it's kind of this this pillar that comes from the floor to the ceiling at the center of the hub. There's also something else in here, though. As you enter, you come inside and you kind of fan out a little bit surrounding this core, and each of you gets a little beep, 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 and there's a streak of silver across the room. Let's see what happens. Where's the stat block for it? There it is. All right. Repeater. Everybody please give me a mobility test, if you would, please. All right, Colossus 0. You're going to be taking 8 damage.
I'm still in my battle mode, which
so you
I
can roll
reduce
that
it by
D4 to
1d4.
reduce it. Yep.
Oh, God, be on my side. I got 3. That'll help.
Okay,
3.
that reduces it. Yep. Now only 5 damage.
I'll take it.
You see this incredibly sleek humanoid type mecha that sort of comes into view, and as it streaks past, it has this almost looks like a high-tech crossbow, and you see this belt kind of coming from the crossbow up into the sort of the ammo storage on this thing, and it just fires off this hail of explosive tip bolts, and most of you manage to avoid the damage, but Colossus 0, you just get pinged by a couple of these things, and as they stick in the hull, they then go poof, 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 and explode.
You see Murphy just holding on to all the walls, and she's got one of those like little mom oh shit bars on the side, in the car, and she's like, oh Jesus foot, and then she says, oh Lord, don't judge me for that. I just said a swear, and then she just sort of just gathers herself.
The mecha itself, true to its name, Silver Meteor, has this almost mirrored surface to its metal, this shiny titanium silver that seems to reflect everything in front of it. And there's also these gleaming conduits of energy that run up and down its legs. It is carrying in one hand this bolt thrower, in the other hand this massive axe, and it sort of spins in place, brings the axe in front of it, and you hear over your comms. Hang on, I want to roll the comms chatter. Bear with me 1 second. I love the comms chatter table, so I really want to use it. Okay.
New feature. Or old. I don't remember.
You hear over the comms. Your weakness is your pride. and we're going to roll for initiative. Mobility or system. All right. Okay, now it's Crimson Glory going after everybody. Nemesis, let's go with you first. The silver meteor is, we'll say, within far range of everybody at this time, sort of near the center of the chamber, if you will, near the core. What would you like to do? Oh,
Okay, first I'm gonna.
real quick, this guy is a higher HD than all of you, so you're going to need to add 3 to all of your rolls made against him.
Okay. So you said he's far, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm using my cannon first then.
Okay.
So that's a 1 on the die. How does that work with artillery? Because I get bonus die from artillery anyways.
So it'll be the double damage from the crit as well.
So it'll be 4 die?
No, you'll just roll both of the dice and then double the damage.
Okay. So
And so the number you're looking for is a shit ton. It's going to be a shit ton of damage.
right. That would be 32 damage total.
Okay. You guys win. He's dead. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I think Murphy would actually just like put her feet up and just sort of watch what happens at this point. That's just absurd. Absolutely absurd. I'm done.
That's some Jonathan Miles level damage for anyone that watches Paladins. All right, that's one action.
Jonathan in the freeze in the back.
Yeah.
I'm going to yeah, I'm going to use action to grapple him,
Okay.
which is also a test power, which is very hard for me to fail. So I pass, and he takes 4 damage from the grapple, but he's now right next to me.
So out of the haze of this explosion that has happened from the artillery shot, you yank the silver meteor towards you, which may or may not be a good idea depending on how you think about it. But he is now within close range of you.
I have to roll my reactor die, I forgot, because grapple.
Oh, nuts.
Oh no, that's a 1.
Do you have a D4 with all 1s on it? What is going on here?
No.
All right.
I just rolled a 4 on damage on it.
That is true. All right. What happens?
I rolled the you attack nearest target.
Okay.
So he's getting stabbed by a harpoon again.
All right. Let's do it.
The first time. That's a success. And it does really crappy damage, only 5 damage total.
Okay. All right. Colossus, you're up.
So at this point, he's been grappled. Is he any closer to us? He was within far range. What
Yeah,
is he
so
right
he's
now?
been yanked into close range by Nemesis.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and just unload 2 more torpedo shots into this guy.
Okay.
And let's see here. Testing power 7. That is good. I'm 18 power. All right, and I'm gonna just 2 damage. I'm actually gonna do this twice, doubling up on my actions, which is gonna make me roll my reactor. So I got a 2 on the reactor die. But I have since I'm a vet, it only goes off by 1.
Yep, you got the 2.
So I'm good on that, and it's so good. I have a D8 reactor, and I can only fail on 1s, and then I can re-roll 1s. You spoiled me. You spoiled me.
Being a vet underwater, I think, is the best situation for anyone in Mecha Hack.
So good. Okay, so I got a few dice I got to roll here because I'm in battle mode too. So +1. So I got 5 + 1, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then I have 2, so +4, so 13 damage altogether because it's a heavy weapon as well.
Okay.
And I took the sawed-off feature, which means if I'm close up with a long range or a heavy weapon, a ranged weapon, it doesn't give me disability or disable, or what is it? Disadvantage.
Disadvantage. Yep, correct.
Very different things.
All very
13.
different things. Yeah.
All very, a bunch of different things. Apologize.
All right, cool. So that brings us to Rusted Admiral. You're up. So this the Silver Meteor is kind of getting his ass kicked here by Colossus Zero and Nemesis. What do you want to do?
Yeah, I kind of think that these guys have it handled. Can I like assess the hub and determine what like the weak points are going to be?
Absolutely. Go ahead and give me a system test.
Yeah, that's what I want to do. 12 under 18.
Okay,
Success.
great. So you do a quick scan of this sort of pillar that's rising up out of the floor of this central chamber, and there's kind of this like beep 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 beep. Like you sort of see where the support struts are for this thing, and if you destroy those, you could basically collapse this entire hub. So your next attack against this thing is going to have advantage because you know just where to shoot. And I'll let you know right now, the hub's core has 30 HP, so you got to do 30 damage to this thing to take it down.
Yeah. So, quick question about the automated weapon module. Does that mean I can't use an attack action?
So
to fire
you
it?
can, and that actually came up in our last game, and I I rewrote the mechanics but didn't update it in the PDF. It's basically you can choose to have it be a use action instead of an attack action.
Great. That's definitely the impression I got through your verbal explanation.
Cool. Awesome.
So awesome. That's what I'm going to do then. I am going to take out my scatter gun and shoot right towards.
I love that it's an automated scatter gun. That is so killer.
And I'm so sorry. Is that a test of power?
That would be power. Yes, correct.
Glad I have advantage on it because I needed it. With advantage. Success, and that is 3 damage.
Hey, you only need to do that 10 more times, and then it'll be destroyed.
I'm like, so I actually have like an old, like worn out kitty mug that's very stained with coffee, like it doesn't get washed a lot, and I'll be drinking it and come into your guys' comms and say, hey, take a look at these weak points. Hopefully I can like project those weak points to the rest of the group as well.
Absolutely, yeah. You're able to transmit those to the rest of the team, and they can see exactly where they need to hit on that core in order to damage it. Good job, Rusted Admiral. Was that 2 actions? Yeah, use action, and then you did your attack action. Okay, so that's bad guys. 1 bad guy. The Silver Meteor is gonna do some stuff. So he can make 2 attacks. So, target 2d10 damage, push 1 range band. Okay, so I need a presence check from you, Nemesis.
We're good.
Okay, and then either mobility or power from you, Colossus Zero.
Let's just go with power on that one. Just go power.
Oh,
I've got sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, reminding you guys, add 3 to your rolls against it, in case you haven't been yet.
Oh, yeah. I got a 1 on that roll. So
Okay.
I guess I'm rolling. Do I have to add the 3 to that? Or does that matter?
Yeah, technically, but 1
4.
is yeah, so you're good. So the Silver Meteor sort of fires off these thrusters, and it sort of like shoulders into Nemesis, not doing any damage, and then swinging with this axe at you, Colossus Zero, but your hull just eats that. It doesn't do any significant damage to anything critical. And then everybody, all 4 of you, need to give me a presence test, as there is a data discharge from the core of the hub. So we got to make sure it doesn't overload your systems. Give me a presence check. Let me know if you succeed or not.
I got
Is
a
this
1
with the
plus
plus
the
3
3.
still? Or-
No, because this is from the core and not Silver Meteor.
Ah,
Good question.
I got a 1 on that.
Okay, cool.
I got a 20.
2 ones
Oh
in a row.
no,
with it.
Rusted Admiral. Okay. So there is this wave of data, and you can see it. There's like this pulse of energy that comes out of the core of the hub, and all of you get this like weird scrambly, like pixelated effect on your HUDs and stuff. The lights flicker inside the cabins, and Rusted Admiral, I need you to roll reactor as this happens. As you're kind of fits, you're the closest to the core. Okay, so 2, that'll downgrade it. And that is Silver Meteor went, the core went. So now Crimson Glory gets to go.
So, how far am I from the core? Is that
The core
like
is
move
far
action?
from you.
Okay? And then Nemesis is still grappling the Silver Meteor.
Yeah, Colossus Zero and Nemesis are pretty much like in melee combat with the Silver Meteor.
Okay. He is going to start charging up his belt-fed harpoon cannon, and he's going to aim it at the Silver Surfer, and he says, "Sorry, bud." Dun, 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 dun. And he's going to shoot at the Surfer, hopefully not damaging anybody else.
Silver
but-
Surfer. I
love
see
that
what
you're
you
calling
did
him the
there.
Silver Surfer. That is so funny.
Sorry, that's
Missed
what the image in
opportunity,
my mind.
Matt.
It's killer. I know he should have a surfboard. He should be like hang
He
10
did.
rows like as he's coming
Tubular.
in. Yeah. I'm about to get pitted. That's a surf thing, right? It's a surf.
All right, I
surf.
totally meant to say the meteor, but the image
Yeah.
is so strong in my
No,
mind.
for sure. And now I'm
Actually-
picturing him like Optimus Primal from Beast Wars with the hoverboard like flying around. So, yeah.
Oops. So that's a fail on the power attack. So I guess I missed.
Okay, yeah. He sort of brings up his arm and just deflects the shots that come in.
Okay. With my move action, I'd like to kind of propel forward, so I'm getting closer to the core at the same time.
Okay, great. Yep, you're now within near range of the core, and you can see Rusted Admiral sort of moving towards the core as well. Okay. Nemesis, you're up.
Okay. I don't like this guy already. I'm blasting him twice with my laser beam.
All right, do it.
Let's see.
Did you say 800 damage?
Pretty much.
I'm getting those
first-
vibes.
It's every
The first
time.
one hits. Let me roll reactor for it, and then I'll just tell you the damage after.
Okay, great.
Oh no, I actually succeeded on my reactor die. No.
This was not the plan.
It's fine. We're all next to you.
Second is also a success on the laser beam, but now I have to roll reactor twice because it's 2 attacks
Yep.
and reactor. So 1 fail and 2 fails. So first some damage from the beam of death.
Know what that does.
6 damage for the first beam,
It's been fun, guys. I'll see you guys later on.
11 from the second beam. And I need to find my D8 again. And I rolled an 8, so I attack him with my spear.
Okay.
And I also rolled a 5. So everyone has to test presence or take damage again
Okay.
as I let out a roar. And I stab him.
I got a 20.
Oh no.
Oh no.
So you'll take a D4 damage. He takes 13 damage.
See you, Nate. I take what?
The bad guy takes 13 from the stab. And everyone takes, 1 damage from the roar.
Ah, okay. That's okay. I can actually roll my D4 and try to. Well, I'm going to mitigate that anyway. So you just smiled at me and I got threatened a little bit.
Right. And my roar, I shout out, Cthulhu will feast on your soul tonight.
And as you do so, you take him out. What does it look like as you destroy the silver meteor?
Did the beam do enough damage or was it the stab?
It was the stab that finished him off.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna say that the stab happened right before the second beam, just because it looks cooler that way.
Mm-hmm.
So I stabbed him right under the chin to lift his head up, and then I do the Godzilla attack that he does against like King Ghidorah, and just essentially my cracking head onto his head, and well, he explodes because laser beam through your head. Not fun.
Let's see what you hear on the comms before he goes down. He says, only one of us is leaving here alive. And you basically respond, cool, it's going to be me. And there's this, like, the energy conduits that are kind of running all throughout the Silver Meteor's chassis. They glow like red hot as the energy from the maw beam just melts him, and he just like breaks apart and fragments and explodes in front of you. All right. Colossus Zero. The Silver Meteor is down. You see some of your allies attacking the core. There are klaxons going off. The lights are flashing red here. You know that the Aeons are likely scrambling reinforcements. What do you want to do?
I'm gonna join in and start to do as much damage as I can to this core on my HUD with all these highlighted areas and stuff like that. And how far away is that? Do I have to travel towards that?
It is far distance from you.
Okay, so far distance. I am going to move. With one move, I can move 2 rings. So I'm going from far to near, I believe. Is that right? Near.
You'd be getting to close, actually, because you go far, near, close.
Okay, cool. So I'm moving in, and I take my giant curved hook blade, and I want to start running along the walls. Wherever I see these energy just scraping and just ripping straight into the steel and cords and framework, just flying all over the place and floating away in the water.
Yeah, and you have advantage on this attack because Rusted Admiral sent you the schematics of this thing, essentially.
Yes. So I'm gonna test power. Okay. 18. Oh, I tied my 18. So
that's a fail.
Be a fail.
Yep.
Do I have anything else? No, because I moved to get here. So.
Yep.
It's just pinging off. The hook is just a dull hook, and it's just sliding and floating behind me. I don't even know how to use it. So. I've never seen this weapon in my life.
Why did I even bring this thing? This thing
what
sucks.
Is this for?
All right, Rusted Admiral, you're up.
So I guess I am going to use one of my appendages to grab. It's actually, instead of grabbing a light ion flail, this appendage is a light ion flail.
Hell yeah,
and I'm just going to try to whack at one of these weak points near me. So with my light melee, it's just kind of like noodling on it limply. Not doing much damage.
We're representing the
Terran Collective.
The Terran Collective
so well.
You guys have turned it out, yeah.
Experts in martial weapons, I swear.
Yep.
Well, I mean, we don't have any freaks on our team, but we can at least infiltrate some stuff. And then I will use my scatter gun as a use action to automatically train on another weak point and try to fire. Do I still have advantage, or would I need to like use systems each turn?
No, you've got advantage. You've got all the weak points basically targeted.
This is great. In that case, I'm going to deal another 3 damage.
Listen, it all adds up.
Chip, chip, chip.
Yeah. It's better than no damage.
That's right.
Damn straight.
All right.
It's the core's turn.
I gotta see if the core does another data discharge. It does not. It doesn't do its recharge die. So Crimson Glory, you are up.
So he's gonna shout over the comms, "Nicely done, Nemesis." And then, seeing as how both Rusted Admiral and Colossus Zero are kind of wailing on the walls there, he's gonna kind of charge up his Gatling gun. aim it up at the ceiling at all the kind of highlighted, and his HUD system, it's kind of like making sections glow and stuff. And he's just going to start shooting up at the ceiling at those damaged portions. It just goes dunk, 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 dunk. And can I use 2 attack actions because I'm now adjacent to it?
Yep.
And then I will roll my reactor die, which is now a d6. And because I have a heavy weapon, I actually forgot I have a +2 damage if I hit.
Oh yeah.
Don't worry, I forgot that 2 times. So
Yeah.
whatever.
I have 3 arms, so I don't get a penalty, but
Yeah.
I didn't add anything. So I rolled a 5 and a 20, and then a reactor die is a pass. So I hit 1 time, so that's going to be 1d8 +2, and that's max, so that's 10 damage.
Ooh, nice.
As I just start chipping away at all the ceiling pieces, and then it kind of stops. It's like, "Doo!" And he gets ready to like reload another bunch of harpoons into the canister.
Awesome.
And that's my turn.
Very cool. Actually, interesting note that the Vanguard didn't originally have the ability to stabilize a heavy weapon to negate that -2, but Jonathan Miles was like, I feel like I should be able to hold a heavy weapon with all 3 arms and negate the
I
-2.
love that.
I thought that was
love
so
it so
cool.
much.
Yeah.
John, cheers to you, man.
Jonathan Miles, and then he one-shots space cruisers with his sniper rifle. So I guess that teaches me to listen to what my players want to do. So
Oh, I love it. I gave up the shield, so I have only 3 armor, and that got vented. So,
yeah,
like,
it is.
I'm a weakling, but
it is
it's
very
so
worth
cool.
it if you're running heavy weapons for sure. Okay, cool. That brings us to Nemesis. I think Nemesis. Do you want to just do like 5,000 damage and kill the core? Or?
You mean to eat us all? That's fine too.
Actually, I was gonna see if there's glass windows first.
There are not.
Oh, that sucks because I was gonna beam.
You just shut him down. He's like, crumbs.
This is the end of the story, guys.
Damn.
There are. You can see that there are exhaust tunnels that kind of branch off from the core that you could probably blow open with a mob beam if you wanted to.
Oh no, I was gonna use the maul beam so we could get back outside quicker. That's what I was
Oh,
hoping for.
gotcha.
Does Nemesis talk? Does he say like Nemesis hungry and like start chewing on shit or?
No. He does worship Cthulhu, which you've heard now once.
Oh,
as
that's
he
true.
Roid
Right.
silver guy. Then I'm going to maul beam first and then blast it with my cannon.
Okay, cool.
Yep, that's a success on the power. Hey. And 10 damage for the maul beam.
Okay.
Oh, wait, I have to roll reactor. Uh-oh. Oh no, I rolled a 1. And then I rolled a... Oh god, that's bad. I rolled a 1 on my berserk die, so I take damage. Oh. Okay, I just took 6 damage as I burned myself.
Ooh, dang.
And then I'm blasting it with my cannon because it's at far range from me, so...
Do
Artillery.
it.
How injured are you looking?
Not really at all. I've barely taken damage. That is a success. So 12 26 damage to the core.
That'll do it. So this shot hits the final pylon in the core, and there's this like moment of silence after the shot hits, and then the pillar kind of like buckles in on itself, and there's this explosion from the core, and as the core kind of topples in on itself, collapsing in on itself, the ceiling does as well, begins to fall, and I need everyone to do either mobility or power to get out of here as the hub collapses around you.
It's a big fat success for me. 3 on
That's
the
a
die.
All
Are you
right.
just gonna mob beam downwards and fly up or
Yeah.
something?
I got a 1.
I have
Awesome.
protection.
So you either deftly maneuver your way through the tunnels as explosions are going off and the hub is collapsing around you, or you just brute force your way through the wreckage as it's collapsing around you. But either way, you all emerge Lando Calrissian style out of the hub as it does a massive implosion. It's just like this. It just kind of collapses in on itself, and there's this massive air bubble that emanates from it, and a shockwave that comes out. So what I'd like to do is a final shot of each of you as you're fleeing the explosion and prepare to exfiltrate from this mission. So we'll go ahead and start with Adrian. What's the last thing we see of Crimson Glory?
I think Crimson is kind of he was shooting at the ceiling, so as soon as it gets erupted and there's an opening, he's just going to start swimming straight up, and he's going to be checking all his sensors and trying to see the best way to get out of here, because immediately he wants to like exfiltrate, and then he's like, oh crap, what about the shields? And then he's going to shout on the comms, did anyone get the shields down?
And weren't we supposed to download the codes or something?
Don't you guys worry, I got your backs.
You guys are very lucky to have Rusted Admiral on your fire team.
Like,
At this point, Murphy's just so used to fighting by your side. She's just like, he had it all. He had it all along. It's just I wasn't even worried about it.
yeah, but you're MVP. Maybe next time I'll be on your side. And then he just jets straight up into the air.
Awesome.
I sure as shit don't want to be against Nemesis.
And speaking of which, what's the last thing we see of Nemesis as the mission ends here?
Nemesis would probably stand on top of where the core was, like a building, and it's going to launch a beam just in a circle around it, hitting all the towers.
Awesome. Godzilla style. There's this like just destruction. Colossus Zero, what's the last thing we see?
So Colossus is flying up out of the water to escape this explosion, and when it happens, you know that thing when you see like a submarine missile launch where it comes up and sort of hangs in the air a little bit, and then just the rocket, all the little turbines switch in, and these rocket boosters as it flies straight, and you see Murphy inside the helm or whatever, shaking and just like woo with a cigarette mouth flying, hitting some kind of thing behind her. As she pulls down like an old poster of a anti-Neo-Dominion thing, pulls it down so you can't see it and hides it underneath. As you have become her friend over time. So yeah.
Awesome. And Rusted Admiral, take us home. What's the last thing we see?
Rusted Admiral's appendages are all flailing behind him, quite a few of them falling off as we're making our way out, and reaches into the modified reactor cooling bin and pulls out a nice cold beer to crack it open. Great flying and swimming with you boys. Glug, glug, glug.
Always a pleasure, hon.
And as we leave our fire team behind, we see ships entering the atmosphere of this planet, both Neo-Dominion and Terran Collective ships, and Mecha begins spilling out by the hundreds for this full-scale invasion of this planet. And we realize that this underwater mission was the kickoff for the rest of Operation Fairweather, as the Neo-Dominion and Terran Collective strike a crippling blow against the Aeonic Primacy. And that is where the mission ends. So, This was a blast. I had so much fun. Thank you guys for tuning in. I'm going to let everyone do a little sign-off here, and then we'll call it for the night. And I'm going to go watch Mandalorian. So, Adrian, go ahead. Just do your sign-off.
Yeah, thanks so much. Do the Kickstarter. I really want the next level. So
yeah, me too. Yes, we have one more stretch goal to go at 20,000, and that's going to be the battle maps that Hank's going to draw for us, which will be really cool.
I'm so excited for that.
And we also potentially have a classified stretch goal that might be happening afterwards. We'll see. No promises, but all right, Mason, go ahead and do your sign off.
That was a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun. Thank you for really pushing the hybrid to its limits and going berserk 93
He saved
times.
you 15 minutes. He
Yeah.
definitely saved you 15 minutes.
I'm watching Mandalorian a lot earlier because of Nemesis, so I appreciate it, Mason. Nate, go ahead, man.
My name's Nate Adams. I run a channel called The Project Nexus. I do a lot of one-shots where I'm trying to get into doing a lot more. I only have 2 up right now. I have been a new member of the Absolute Tabletop community on Facebook. It is a fantastic group. If you want to run games, if you want to be in games, just meet cool people that share the same interests, I definitely suggest doing that. On my channel in 2020, I'll be running some PvP tournaments of all different types, Mecha Hack being one of them, because that just sounds really fun to me. I don't know why, I just want to do it. Yeah, that's me, Nate Adams.
Awesome. And last but certainly not least, Philip.
Thanks for running another great Mecha Hack game, Matt, and it was a pleasure playing with all of you fine folk.
Yes, likewise. It was
Ditto.
awesome playing with all of you, and can't wait to do it again. So, again, thanks for tuning in, everybody. Hope everyone is doing well, staying safe, staying healthy. Check out the Mission Manual Kickstarter, and tune in Monday. Paladins is happening. Wednesday, Tim Carney is running Mecha Hack, and I'm going to be playing in it. And then Friday, we've got another one-shot. So I have 3 Mecha Hack games next week. There's so much Mecha goodness happening. I just can't contain my excitement. So definitely tune in for all of that. So take care, everyone. Happy gaming all, and we'll see you next time.